You're about to see some of the creepiest videos found on the internet. Let's check them out. Ever had the feeling that someone or something is watching you? Well, next time remember to whip out your cell phone and start recording. In this clip, uploaded to TikTok by Old Fogey John, we see someone walking along a dirt path at night time. Take a look at what they captured on camera. By the far tree on the right side of the path, there appears to be some sort of creature lurking in the darkness. It's hunched over and looks as though it has long arms. Its posture seems similar to that of an ape. Unfortunately, the clip ends there and we're unable to get a better look at the mysterious beast. So what do you think this could be? Some sort of cryptid perhaps? Or is it just a very convincing case of pareidolia? Let me know your take on this in the comments down below.
Doesn't look like the other trees.
When TikToker PeachAssassin99 first noticed a dead tree in her backyard, things began to get a little strange. In this first clip, we see her approach the tree to investigate.
But it's very pretty. And there's these weird things that are in it. I don't know what that's for. And it has crazy holes.
At the base, she finds an animal skull.
Oh. I like you. What is that?
It seems that after that day, mysterious things started happening around her house. This next clip shows a photo that the woman's landlord took of the building.
So my landlord sends me this picture because she's trying to take pictures of the new windows that got replaced.
There appears to be a creepy doll sitting in the window.
Is in the left window next to the chimney. I don't own any dolls.
However, the TikToker notes that she doesn't own a doll. She then shows the window from inside the house. There appears to be nothing there.
To see if I can somehow make myself feel better. There's scratches on the windowsill for some reason.
The spooky incidents keep happening in this next video as we see the woman rushing to her door after the bell rings incessantly. Yet when she opens it, there's nobody there. Her dog runs out sniffing around, but we can see that there's no one nearby.
Luna, come on.
From this moment on, the creepy activity seems to escalate around the house. Next, we see a bottle suddenly fall as the woman's hanging out in her kitchen.
Did you do that?
In this footage, more strange activity is captured. Books fly off the shelf as though an unseen entity is pushing them from behind. Although it seems that the poster doesn't know what's causing these potentially paranormal events, her dog might be able to sense something that she can't. As we see the TikToker taking her pet for a walk one evening, the animal seems to pick up the scent of someone lurking in the field.
Luna.
A tall, dark figure seems to be watching the pair as they take their evening stroll.
What?
In this final clip, we see the TikToker's dogs as they're suddenly alerted to something outside. They move from window to window, barking at the presence. At first, there doesn't seem to be anything there. Perhaps the dogs were just barking at a possum or raccoon. However, take a look at what the outdoor security camera captured. There appears to be an eerie figure wandering across the yard. Could this be the same figure that the woman saw earlier in the field? This story remains ongoing, so head over to PeachAssassin99's TikTok account to see the latest in this saga. As always, I'll put a link to her account in the description box down below.
Look at that shadow right there. Look, what the f is that?
In this video, posted to Facebook by Tyrone Jackson, we see a mysterious shadowy figure moving on the other side of the street. Watch what happens.
Look at that across the street. Look. Why this? Look across the street. Look. What the f is that? Why this? Why would he take off running? Why that thing chasing?
It appears that the thief suddenly notices the strange figure just after snatching something from the car.
Look. What the f is that?
It then looks as though the ghostly figure chases the criminal down the street. It's possible that the mysterious figure is the result of a camera glitch. However, if this was the case, then why does the footage clearly show the thief without any blurring?
Why would he take off running? Why that thing chasing?
Does this clip possibly show the ghost of a Good Samaritan, or is there another way to explain this rather odd footage?
Look across the street. Look. What the f is that? Why would he take off running? Why that thing chasing?
Is this yet more footage of the ever-elusive and legendary Loch Ness Monster? 54-year-old Richard Maver was competing in the Great Glen Canoe Challenge in September of 2021 when he accidentally spotted something strange swimming in the waters of Loch Ness. While capturing drone footage for his YouTube channel, Richard Outdoors, the camera picked up something swimming in the shallow waters near the shoreline. At first, Maver didn't notice anything in the water. It wasn't until he uploaded the footage that a few keen-eyed viewers spotted the strange shape. Take a look. As you can see, there's a long object floating in the water. It does indeed resemble the classic depiction of the Loch Ness Monster, a long neck with a broad body and fins. Maver told the Daily Mirror that he couldn't believe what he had captured. He had to rewind the footage several times before the sighting finally sank in. Some analysts have suggested it might just be a log floating in the water, or even an optical illusion caused by the waves. However, Nessie dieharders are certain this is yet another piece of evidence that an ancient cryptid is living in the murky waters of Loch Ness. Here's some more eerie home security footage. Its origins are unknown, but it's been spreading through social media quickly this past few weeks. This version was uploaded to Twitter by Sitio Paranormal. Watch. Two misty shapes drift through the yard. They look like two floating figures wearing robes or tattered rags. Interestingly, whatever they are, they appear to manipulate the camera's motion detection. When they disappear, the light turns off and the camera switches to night vision. This suggests that something was in the yard, something big enough to trigger the motion sensor. Unfortunately, no one seems to know where or when this was captured, so it's difficult to dig deeper into the history of the property. So for now, all we can do is watch and wonder as to what these two eerie shapes really are. In a rundown back alley in Asunción, the capital of Paraguay, there's a building known as the House of Horror. The now abandoned home is said to be so haunted that even squatters, drug dealers and criminals avoid the area entirely. In October 2018, a family of 5 were found brutally murdered inside the now infamous home. Dharma Rojas Roda, her 2 children, her mother Alva Rota, and her father Julio Rojas Daval were all discovered dead in what's been described as a cruel and violent act. The crime scene showed signs that it was hastily cleaned in an effort to remove evidence. 21-year-old Bruno Javier Mirabel Ramirez, Alva Roda's son, was found guilty of the murder and sentenced to 30 years in prison plus 10 years parole. A year later, local news network C9N Paraguay visited the infamous House of Horrors to recount the crime live on TV. However, as reporters moved through the house, their microphones picked up something rather chilling. Take a listen.
Porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se presumía que se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
It can be hard to hear at first, but as the journalist moves out into the courtyard, some screams are heard in the background. Here's the sound isolated and amplified.
Porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
Viewers who heard the shocking clip said it sounds like a man yelling, followed by the screams of a woman and children.
Porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
The incident went viral in Paraguay and many speculated it's the residual screams of the family who were murdered there, a horrific EVP that's been etched into the very fabric of the home.
Otro de los cuerpos justamente también se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
This creepy video first appeared online in 2012. Shows a man laughing maniacally at the camera. While the video itself is creepy, it's the story behind it that makes it truly chilling. On the evening of February 9th, 2004, a university student named Maura Murray disappeared after crashing her car into a snowbank on Route 112 in Woodsville, New Hampshire. When a local resident stopped to help Murray, she asked him not to call the police as AAA was already on its way. The resident continued home, but despite what Murray had told him, decided to call the police anyway. The police arrived on the scene sometime later, however they were unable to locate Murray. Inside her vehicle, they discovered makeup and jewellery as well as driving directions to Vermont. Her debit and credit cards were gone, as too was her cell phone. Prior to her disappearance, Murray had been acting rather strangely. She had crashed her father's car, was found crying at work, and had emailed her work supervisor and university professors, telling them that she was taking a week off to deal with a family emergency that didn't exist. A subsequent investigation of her online history also revealed that she had searched for directions to the Berkshires and Burlington, Vermont. Due to the nature of her disappearance, Murray was initially treated as a missing person. However, in 2009, the New Hampshire Cold Case Division listed her disappearance as suspicious. Despite the police's findings, Murray's father stated that he believed his daughter was most likely abducted by some dirtbag on Route 112. The chilling thing is, the video of the sinister man laughing was posted to YouTube under the name Mr. 112 Dirtbag on the anniversary of Murray's disappearance. It was one of a series of videos that viewers thought may have contained clues to Murray's whereabouts. Despite this, the authorities were unable to find any evidence linking the uploader with the disappearance of the university student. To this day, the case of Maura Murray remains unsolved. Jay Barari is a TikToker that's managed to capture a lot of creepy things on camera. We've featured some of her clips before. Here they are here.
What is that?
My camera got blurry. What the hell?
The TikToker claims that they captured this next video while they were outside putting the chickens away. It seems that they too had that uneasy feeling that they were being watched. So, like the TikToker in the first video, they instinctively reached for their phone and hit record. Take a look at what they caught on film.
You guys hear that?
At first, it might be hard to spot. However, if we slow the footage down, you can see that there appears to be a ghostly looking figure standing next to the tree. It looks to be wearing a long white dress or gown. The figure's only visible briefly as the camera pans back from left to right. As the TikToker continues to film their surroundings, a creepy sound can be heard.
You guys hear that?
It seems that the sound may have initially distracted the TikToker, who didn't seem to notice the figure by the tree until reviewing the footage later. So what could this mysterious figure be? Is it possible that this is a ghost from her past encounters? Remember to head over to TikTok and check out Jay Barari's account for more creepy videos just like this one. As always, there's links in the description box down below.
Baby, tell me I'm bugging. Tell me I'm bugging. Oh.
An empty house can sometimes give off a rather creepy vibe. Perhaps it's the fact that there's no signs of human activity, such as voices, footsteps, or laughter. The absence of these familiar sounds may make the environment feel eerie and unnatural. In this video, posted to Reddit by Puzzle-Headed Snow 23, we see the camera holder walking through an empty property. There's little context provided, however it seems that they might be creating the clip for a potential buyer. As they make their way through the bare space, take a look at what they inadvertently captured on camera. If we watch that again, you can actually see a woman in the background. According to the poster, only 2 people were inside the apartment when the video was taken, leaving little room for explanation as to the figure's origin. Furthermore, one observant viewer notes that the figure seems to disappear before entering the next room, further adding to the mystery. If you're still not convinced, take a look at what the camera catches later in the video. It appears to show a strange mist or shape moving on top of or just behind the kitchen countertop. So could the spirit of a woman be haunting this apartment? Perhaps this is the reason why the property's up for sale in the first place. So what would you do if you were in the market for a new house and the realtor sent this video? Would you snap up the chance to potentially live alongside a restless spirit or run away and hide? Let me know down below. In August of 2010, the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology was conducting a deep-sea dive when they filmed something mysterious in the waters of Sagami Bay, southwest of Tokyo. As the Hyper Dolphin ROV explored the murky depths, cameras were rolling, capturing images of the deep-sea habitat. At first, everything seems fairly normal. Suddenly, out of the gloomy abyss, an unidentified creature appears. Its large, wide eyes are dotted just above a gaping mouth. The creature's solid frame disappears into the cloudy background. When the footage first surfaced, it went viral around the world, with news outlets running stories that a new type of deep-sea species had been spotted. Some experts weren't so sure, however, speculating that it might actually be a case of pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar shapes in patterned imagery. It's entirely possible that this is just a rock with two well-placed shells, giving our brains the impression that a creature with a face is present. However, in the footage, it does appear as though the object moves. So what do you think? Is this some kind of deep-sea cryptid that's yet to be classified by modern science? Or is there a simpler explanation? Let us know your take in the comments section down below. This next unsettling encounter was uploaded to TikTok by BorgHub back in December 2022. It's some dashcam footage that was captured while driving through Melbourne, Australia at 4:30 in the morning. Watch. A man is standing in the middle of the road blocking the way forward. He shines a torch directly at the driver. As they pass the man, he tries hitting the side of the car. The OP says that they immediately called the police, but not much came of it. They even turned around to do another run, but the assailant was gone. A lot of commenters said that they too had had similar experiences in the middle of the night in various places around the world. So remember to always drive at night with your doors locked, and certainly don't stop for sus as heck dudes like this standing in the middle of the road. Little and Large 13 is a TikToker we've featured before on the channel. Her outdoor security camera had caught her being watched by a rather eerie character. Take a look at this recap. Well, in this new clip, it seems that the TikToker's camera has caught something else. This time it's not a person in a panda suit, but rather something else entirely. Take a look. According to the poster, she and a friend were returning home after a last-minute bottle shop run. Just after the second person disappears from view, some sort of creature emerges from the darkness. Whatever it is, it's black and appears to move on all fours. Some viewers have suggested it might just be a dog, while others seemed a little more concerned, wondering if it could be a bear. But perhaps the most unsettling comparison that was made was to the killer in a scene from the pseudo-documentary horror film The Poughkeepsie Tapes. There's certainly an eerie resemblance. It's difficult to prove just what's been captured on film here, so we'll throw this one out to you, the viewer. What do you think this creature could be? Dog, cryptid, human stalker, or something else entirely? As always, let your theories rip in the comments down below. Security cameras are a great tool to help keep properties safe from burglary and vandalism. However, they do occasionally show events that are a little harder to explain. This video, which was posted to YouTube by Gazmo4, shows the area outside of a factory. It's a quiet night and nothing appears out of the ordinary, unless you take a closer look. At the very beginning of the clip, there's a transparent shape that seems to ascend into the air. At first, one would be excused for thinking this might simply be a bug flying past the camera. However, what happens next will likely make you question this theory. Watch. The door to the truck suddenly unlatches and begins to swing open. Several seconds later, a similar transparent shape looks as if it rises up from the ground and then enters the back of the truck. One viewer claimed to have worked at the factory where this footage was recorded. They said that on the day of the incident, the manager arrived at the site early to open up. She opened the large metal gates to the yard and noticed that the trailer door was open. Worried about a loss of stock, she managed to close the trailer door and went to check the cameras to see who had left the truck doors open. Upon checking the footage, she noticed the doors opening all on their own. They later called the trailer hire company, who sent a mechanic to review the vehicle. He said the door was too stiff to open on its own, as even he struggled to open it. TextPart Paranormal LLC, a seasoned team of paranormal investigators with over 20 years of experience, has recently captured what they believe to be one of the best ghost photographs to date. The image, taken by team member Jason Black in a warehouse in Tyler, Texas, features a mysterious ghostly figure that has left the team stunned. The figure looks wispy, as if it's made of mist or some sort of similar substance. It also appears to be somewhat transparent. According to the TextPart Paranormal's founder, JJ, only two investigators, Patrick Doyle and Jason, were present at the time the photo was taken. In the top left-hand corner of the image, Patrick's headlamp can be seen, proving that the mysterious figure seen in the center of the photo is something else entirely. Tyler, Texas is home to many tales of the paranormal. The Lake Tyler Petroleum Club, located on the shores of Lake Tyler in East Texas, was once a hub of social activity for the local oil industry, but now the property has a dark reputation as one of the most haunted places in the region. It's said that a man committed suicide in the club after learning of his wife's infidelity. His ghost now supposedly lingers there, haunting anyone who dares enter. Visitors have reported hearing strange noises, feeling sudden drops in temperature, and seeing the apparition of a well-dressed man in a suit. The story of the Lake Tyler Petroleum Club ghost has been passed down for generations, with many locals claiming to have had their own eerie encounters with the spirit. Some say they've seen the man standing on the balcony overlooking the lake, while others claim to have heard his voice echoing through the empty halls. Another famous ghost story from the area is that of the Women's Building at the University of Texas at Tyler. The facility has long been rumoured to be haunted by the ghost of a woman who died in a tragic fire. Visitors to the building have reported feeling an eerie presence, hearing strange noises, and seeing unexplained phenomena. According to the story, the ghost is that of a woman who died in a fire that broke out in the building many years ago. Some say that the woman was a student who was trapped in the building during the fire and perished in the blaze. Others claim that she was a member of the staff who refused to leave the building despite the danger. The apparition of a woman in a long, flowing dress has been seen by many who have entered the building, and some have even reported hearing her voice. Visitors have also reported sudden drops in temperature, strange smells, and doors opening and closing on their own. Despite the building's reputation as a haunted hotspot, it continues to be used for classes and events at the university. But those who have experienced the paranormal activity firsthand remain convinced that something otherworldly is lurking within its halls. So it seems that the town of Tyler, Texas might be an unassuming hotbed of paranormal activity. Could this photo show proof of another spirit haunting the area? Or is there another way to explain the eerie figure's ghost-like appearance? As always, let us know in the comments down below. In June 2021, TikTok user Claxatax uploaded the following piece of footage, and it's been confusing and creeping out viewers ever since. Take a look.
What the hell is that? Hey!
As you can see, some kind of large bipedal figure is walking slowly across the man's yard.
What the hell is that? Hey!
The uploader's pet dog is clearly on guard too as it watches the mysterious figure from a distance.
What the hell is that? Hey!
The TikToker was at a loss to explain the sighting, and it left viewers wondering whether it was a trespasser or something more mysterious. Several days later, Claxatax gave a video update about the sighting.
I looked over and I saw it from behind that swing set out of the woods, walked over behind that truck, or to that truck, and went behind it into the woods. I don't know what it was. It was brownish red in person. We have a street light, so I figured it'd pick up better. Apologize for the quality. Apparently zooming in at night will make any phones. I haven't seen it since, and hopefully I won't, but I still don't know if it was a person or a thing. Whatever it was big, and it was in my yard, and I don't like that.
So he's not seen the figure since, nor does he have any idea what it could have been. Theories in the comments section ranged from a Wendigo to a ghost or even a skinwalker. Skinwalkers are mysterious entities that have their origins in Navajo folklore. They're said to be shamans that conjure black magic. They use their powers to shapeshift into animals and even other humans to lure their victims in before brutally murdering them. There's actually very limited information on skinwalkers because Navajo people tend not to talk about the creatures to outsiders. So could this really be a skinwalker? Or is there another, more simple explanation? Drop your theories in the comment section down below.
What the hell is that? Hey!
Our first clip of the day was captured by a home security camera back in November 2022. It was uploaded to TikTok by Destroyer667. It begins with a young girl talking to her dad as she plays on the computer. The dad says he's going to take a shower and that she should finish up and go to bed. But after the dad leaves, things turn weird pretty quickly. Watching that again, 2 of the dining room chairs seem to slide across the floor all on their own. The girl gets up startled, calling out to her dad. Her reaction looks quite genuine, and unless someone in the family's playing a prank on this poor girl, you have to wonder what's really being caught on camera here. Here's a quick little one that's been going viral over on Twitter. It was uploaded by Sitio Paranormal. Take a look. It's not known exactly when or where this was filmed, but the camera holder's clearly spooked by a dark figure hiding among some tombstones in a cemetery. Looks like a grey face with dark, sunken eyes. Despite the clip going viral, viewers are divided on what it shows. Some say it's probably just a homeless person wondering why they're being filmed, but others aren't so sure, claiming that the grey, featureless face is far too spooky to be dismissed as just a person lurking among the gravestones. In November 2017, the Belfast Live website published a story from Jonathan Hanna, a 45-year-old man who had an unusual encounter earlier that year while visiting the Ulster Folk and Transport Museum in Coltra, Northern Ireland. While taking many photos on the tour, Hanna captured a great shot of one of the train carriage's interior. However, upon reviewing the image at home, he discovered something rather chilling. As you can see, there appears to be a ghostly figure sitting on the bench. Looks to have dark, sunken eyes, a skeletal face, and seems to be clutching its hands close to its abdomen. When the photo was uploaded to Facebook, viewers quickly began offering their opinions about the image. One viewer thought that the figure looked like a child, while others thought they could actually see multiple figures. Ultimately though, we'll throw this one out to you, the viewer, for final judgment. Can you see more than one ghostly figure in this creepy image? Let us know in the comments down below. Some years ago, a series of unsettling videos began appearing on YouTube, uploaded to a channel called Mr. Peeper. The channel has long since been deleted due to terms of service violations, but remnants still remain, re-uploaded across various channels. As you can see, a lot of the content is amateur handycam footage of what seems to be a man stalking various women.
Someday, someone will walk into your life and make you realize why it never worked out with anyone else.
There's a dubbed and distorted voiceover that comments over the footage.
It is a miraculous thing to be able to watch the person you love undetected.
A rumour then began to proliferate that the clips were discovered by an anonymous person who had found an abandoned car in the woods. According to the story, inside the car was a plastic bag taped to the roof. Inside was a small SD card that allegedly contained all of the Mr. Peeper videos. From there, the clips went viral, spreading around forums and message boards, with users trying to figure out whether the footage was legit. A lot of people believed that the clips were real and that they were witnessing the sick games of a psychopath who was picking his victims. However, a lot of people believe it's actually just an art house style web series, perhaps an edgy student project that never quite got off the ground. The videos themselves are genuinely quite eerie, and even to this day no one knows for certain whether they're legit or not.
A wonderful gift may not be wrapped as you expect.
So let me know if you've seen Mr. Peeper before, and where do you land on it all? Let me know in the comments down below.
Somebody once said, you don't always get to choose who you fall in love with, but I do.
The following eerie images were sent to us by viewer David Trump 80. They submitted the security camera stills to our Slaptam subreddit, where it caused quite a stir, with many claiming the images show a ghost. In March 2020, the OP had just left their house heading out of town for a few days, when they received a notification that movement had been detected inside of their home. Alarmed by the notifications, the OP rushed back to the house, only to find there was no one there, nor was there any sign of a break-in. Confused, they checked the images captured by the security camera. In the first snap, you can see an odd figure in the middle of the room. You can make out what looks like a torso with arms and some kind of white cloth around the waist. Eerily, there doesn't appear to be a head. The figure looks to be leaning forward as though in motion. At first, some viewers thought it might just be a glitch in the camera or some kind of double exposure, but if you look at the rear of the room, you can see the figure's reflection in the mirror. Here's another image taken just a few minutes prior. You can see a strange blurry shape in the middle of the room. If you flick back and forth between the images, you can see a pattern of movement from left to right. The OP then discovered another image taken at 2:39 in the morning that shows another blurry mass to the left of frame. The house is in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The OP says they lived there for around 6 years and would often hear strange noises at all hours of the night. Footsteps and tapping noises. Objects would often move or disappear throughout the home only to reappear in different rooms. Banging on the bedroom walls was also a common occurrence, and dark figures out the corner of their eyes were also spotted. The OP admits the noises were scary, but after a while they just got used to them. However, when these security images were captured, it took the experience to a whole new level of creepy. Understandably, they moved out of the house shortly after this incident. So what's to be made of this creepy encounter? Given that the OP regularly experienced strange things in the house already, one has to wonder what this figure could be. Could it really be a ghost? Share your theories with one another in the comments down below. In November 2021, an Oregon local was driving down a rural road at nighttime with their grandkids when they spotted something eerie on the side of the road. They uploaded the strange footage to their TikTok account, Carolyn1984, for all to see.
What did you see? What the frick is that? What? What's behind that?
Diana, what is that?
As you can see, a shadowy figure is lurking behind a tree on the side of the road.
Diana, what is that?
The uploader has no idea what it is, and with good reason didn't want to approach it to find out.
What's behind that tree?
When the footage went live, it quickly went viral, racking up millions of views, with thousands of comments speculating on the strange sighting.
What is that?
Some said it was a Sasquatch, a skinwalker, a shadow person, or even just a creepy person lurking in a hoodie. Given that the uploader was with their grandkids, none of these suggestions bode well. One of the most suggested theories is a hide-behind. Hide-behinds are mysterious beings rooted in North American folklore. Accounts from early settlers tell of loggers going missing while out in the woods. Woodcutters were failing to return to camp en masse, and villagers blamed the hide-behinds. Legends say they're nocturnal creatures with the ability to conceal themselves behind almost any object. They're said to hunt humans for food, with their diet mainly consisting of innards. The Oregon sighting certainly does match the description of a hide-behind in many ways. So could this be one of the first real pieces of evidence that these legendary cryptids really do exist?
Diana, what is that?
This next one comes from the TikTok account Escape Paranormal. A security guard was working the night shift when he noticed something strange on one of the monitors. He wasn't certain of what he saw, so he decided to play back the footage. That's when he couldn't quite believe what he was seeing. Out of nowhere, a transparent woman appears. It almost looks like she's just a head floating through the yard. Shocked by what he was seeing, the guard rushed outside only to find there was no one around. These sort of security camera sightings can often be explained away as poor compression rates, overlapped images, or even strange lighting. However, the fact that the guard rushed to the scene only to find nothing has left many viewers spooked. So what do you think this is? Did the lady just walk away without the guard knowing? Let me know where you land on this one in the comments down below. This eerie piece of home security footage was captured in mid-January. It was shared to Twitter by Sidio Paranormal. Watch. At first, you might spot the dog walking among the furniture. But just above the dog is a strange transparent mist that drifts through the room. Seems to hover just above the pooch. The dog doesn't seem to be too bothered, which has led some viewers to believe that this might be a presence familiar to the house, perhaps someone who used to live there. Working the night shift at a factory is usually a pretty quiet job. However, as this clip from TikToker Stan Hopes Away Days shows, every once in a while you might see something rather unusual. Watch. The footage appears to have been recorded on one of many cameras monitored by a night shift security worker at a factory. According to the uploader, the place is empty at night time, so there isn't usually much to see on these feeds. However, what this particular camera has captured is truly bizarre. It appears to be several glowing orbs moving in unison as if they were a part of an invisible person. Typically, when people film orbs of light, they float or fly across the screen. These can usually be explained away as dust particles or even bugs that are catching the light in a strange way. This certainly doesn't appear to be the case here. While some viewers have suggested they could be a group of rodents scurrying across the ground, others seem certain that these balls of light are something paranormal. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever woken up feeling as though the covers are being pulled off you? If so, this clip from TikToker Jindu G might just offer a terrifying explanation. Watch. The home security footage shows a woman fast asleep in her bed when suddenly her bedroom door begins to open wide as if some sort of unseen force is entering the room. A few seconds later, the cover on the woman's bed begins to be pulled away. Startled, she wakes from her slumber and begins to recoil. Although she doesn't seem to realize what's just happened, she definitely seems afraid. We often blame our nightmares when we wake in the middle of the night with a fright, but it seems that this camera might show that things are not always just in our heads. Pleasant dreams. This eerie photo has been haunting the internet for decades now, but it's well worth revisiting. It's a shot of a man sleeping on a tombstone. Looming over him is a transparent figure. It almost looks like a person wearing a hood looking down on the sleeping man. For years, debunkers have tried their best with this image, but no solid explanations have ever been put forth. It was taken on film and printed well before Photoshop even existed, so that rules out manipulation. Some have said it could just be a mist creating a pareidolik effect, but given the very specific shape, it's quite unlikely. For years, paranormal enthusiasts have claimed that this is a genuine ghost caught on camera, a spirit that isn't taking too kindly to a man sleeping on their grave. But as always, I'll throw this one out to you, the audience. Have you ever seen this one before? What's your take on it? Let me know in the comments down below. There are certain places around the world that are thought to have abnormally high instances of the supernatural. This video, uploaded to YouTube by Fourth Wall, might just show one of them. This footage was captured in Fukushima, Japan, a city that hit international news in 2011 when it was rocked by an earthquake and subsequent tsunami that damaged the local nuclear power plant. The result was the most severe nuclear accident since the Chernobyl disaster. To this day, the city and the surrounding areas still reel from the tragedy, and in the years since, ghost stories have abounded. According to locals and visitors, the spirits of many who died during the tsunami still linger, as their sudden demise left them unprepared to leave this world. One story tells of a ghostly woman joining her friends for tea, only to leave a damp cushion behind where she had been imagined to have been sitting. Another is a man who asks taxi drivers to take him to an address that no longer exists, only to disappear halfway through the ride. Priests of various religions have been called upon to banish these spirits, some of whom are believed to have the power to possess human beings. This clip, filmed at Bentenyama Park in Fukushima, purports to have captured evidence of at least one of the many spirits said to haunt the area. As the YouTuber heads up a set of wooden stairs late one night, they inadvertently capture something rather chilling. Watch. A mysterious ghostly face appears to be watching them through the trees. The face is pale and looks to have dark, hollow eyes. The YouTuber continues on, and a few seconds later, a white, semi-transparent figure can be seen. Then, as the YouTuber turns to continue up the stairs, we see yet another eerie figure. Watch. There's one more chilling sighting that occurs in this video. Just as the YouTuber reaches the top of the stairs, they begin to pan the camera around. Eerie, disembodied footprints begin to appear in the snow as if an invisible being is walking away into the distance. So does this video show proof of some of the spirits that are thought to still haunt Fukushima? Perhaps they'll continue to remain as ghostly remnants of the disaster that befell the area in 2011. This next noggin scratcher comes from the Facebook user Morales Baye. Take a look.
Hey, baby daddy's gonna be right back, okay? And this... How?
Somehow, the baby just walks right through the protective barrier. At first, it seems like it might actually be possible, but when you look at the size of the baby's head, you can see there's no actual way that it could fit through. So what's going on here then? All sorts of wild and wonderful theories have been thrown around, like the baby's a ghost, she can morph, and that it's all just a trick of perspective. The most prominent theory is that it's actually been manipulated with CGI. Perhaps two overlaid images are running simultaneously, making it look like the baby runs right through the gate. So where do you sit on this? Morphing baby or just CGI trickery? Let me know in the comments. This next clip was uploaded to TikTok by elkukui.tv. At first, it appears to show nothing out of the ordinary, just a security guard standing alone. However, if you pay close attention to the first few seconds of the clip, you can see that the guard actually appears to be talking to someone who isn't there. He's soon interrupted by his cell phone ringing. According to the description, this is his colleague who's watching him on the camera feed. The colleague then asks the guard who he's talking to, revealing that there's actually no one visible on the security monitor. Confused, the guard looks around briefly before running from the area. We then catch a glimpse of him on a different camera as he continues to flee. Some viewers have suggested that the guard, knowing that he was being watched, might have been playing a prank on his colleague, yet others think he was conversing with a real spirit. So what do you think? Take another look at the footage and let me know in the comments down below. This creepy photo was shared to the Facebook page Ghosts of London. Ross Cheeseman and his partner were out having dinner at an old restaurant in London when they decided to take a few snaps to remember the evening by. However, in one of the photos, something rather chilling appeared. In the top right corner, a grey transparent figure can be seen looming over the couple. It almost looks like it's moaning or wailing. Ross says he has no logical explanation for the bizarre figure. He admits that he rarely shows the photo to friends or family because it's just so creepy. Unfortunately, we don't have the name of the old restaurant, so we can't dig into the history of the property. So for now, this unsettling image will have to remain a complete mystery. Paranormal investigators, the GEPC group, supposedly captured these next clips while investigating a house that was thought to be haunted. They set up numerous cameras around the property in an effort to catch the spirits in the act. The first clip comes from an outdoor security camera. It's dark out, but the porch light provides enough light to see a strange amorphous shape moving towards the front door. Next, we see footage from a camera set up near the kitchen sink. Amazingly, the faucet begins to turn on by some sort of unseen force. It seems that the kitchen might be somewhat of a hotspot for the alleged paranormal activity. This next clip shows several cabinet doors and drawers opening and closing, seemingly all on their own. The investigators managed to capture some other odd occurrences as well. This time, the picture frames on the walls can be seen swinging back and forth. In paranormal circles, this type of activity is often attributed to a type of ghost known as a poltergeist. These supernatural entities are thought to possess the power to interact with objects around them. Some think that this is an attempt by a poltergeist to get the attention of the living, perhaps in an effort to pass on some sort of message. So could the events in these videos be caused by a poltergeist haunting the home? Take another look and judge for yourself. Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Watch some more right here with these 2 links right there. Now, if you love what we do here at Slapped Ham, consider becoming a member. There's the little blue join button right there. Click that. That'll pop up with all the benefits our members are currently enjoying. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.